Welcome back, my Chucksters. Please kill me. As you may or may not know, we covered this first Child's Play here on the channel a bit ago, and well, it's time to cover its beloved sequel, creatively named Child's Play 2. This movie is loved by its fans arguably more than its predecessor, so why don't we dive into the world of Chucky once more and take a look at Child's Play 2. Let's go!
What about Chucky?
He says there is no God.
Who said that?
Chucky did. He said that life's a bitch and then you die bleeding like a stuck pig.
Alice, you know it's not nice to curse.
I don't curse, Mommy. Chucky did.
So we begin with a doll being rebuilt, and you will never believe this.
Sorry, Jack. Chucky's back.
The Chuckster is back and is being rebuilt by the Good Guys creators company, Playmate. Speaking about his company, here's the CEO and the person who works at his factory. The two walk and talk, glossing over a recap of the last movie, stating how the Andy situation has dampened the company's reputation, and stating what has happened to Jack Skellington and Andy's mum, Karen, since the events of the first film.
What about his mother and the police that were on the case?
The police were smart. They denied everything, which is fine because now they can't hurt us, but the mother's a different matter. She backed up her boy's story in court, so now she's under psychiatric observation.
And guess what's going on in the other room? That's right, private company activity. That being that the freaking Chuckster is back. Woo! And along with that, Charles Lee Ray is also back. How, you may ask, as Chuck got shot in the heart in the last film? It's simple, really. Shut up! They rebuilt Chuck to try and prove that nothing was wrong and that everything is going to be okay. There's proof still showing that Charles is sticking around as lightning bolts shoot out, killing this employee who is taking notes from the doctor who tried to stop Andy in the last movie, having god-awful makeup. Along with many happy returns with the Chuckster, we also see the return of Andy Barclay, who is now staying with a foster family living in suburbs very much not like the city setting in the first film. We meet his foster parents, Phil and Joanne Simpson. We arrive at the new house, which is very pink, and meet Andy's new foster sister Kyle, who is like cool and shit because she smokes. Now that is rad. Very gnarly, am I right, folks? We enter Andy's new room, which has so many toys. Gotta collect them all, including Good Guys. One of which is in the closet, scaring Andy half to death. But this ain't Chucky, you fool.
I'm Tommy.
It's Tommy. We now come back to that employee who was talking to the Playmate CEO, who is now leaving with the Chuckster in hand. Guess what, guys? He drives. And similar to Norris in the first film, Chuck hates drivers. So after a quick stop, Chuck aims a fake gun to his head, but instead uses a plastic bag, killing the man. Oh, and also, while the guy was feeding his addictions, Chuck stole his phone to call the foster home, asking where Andy Barclay is staying, using the excuse that he's his Uncle Charles. Great security, guys. Anyways, this bozo is now dead, and we return to the first-person tactics, heading to Andy's new home. Chucky finds out about his new replacement and immediately gets jealous, beating the poor boy up, burying him in the grave outside.
Eat dirt, Tommy.
By the way, once again, the Chucky animatronic is amazing here, looking and working even better than the first movie. The next day, the kids are now in trouble for the disappearance and breaking of artifacts in the home, and Andy overhears the parents chatting absolute dog shit about him. This shot here is absolutely ugly, bro. What the hell is this shit? Stop. Since I no longer want to torture you all from that shot, Andy now walks across the Good Guy doll, still believing that it's Tommy and not Chucky. Although, Chucky nearly gives his secret away.
Hi, I'm Tommy, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi-ho!
Andy realizes that in order to be cool, you have to smoke, drink, and do drugs. Don't do that, by the way, that's bad. Don't drink, smoke, do drugs. But Andy has taken up his sister's ways and is trying to take a puff, eventually getting stopped by Kyle.
Hey, want to hear me say your name backwards? Kyle.
Kyle and Andy's relationship is one of the best aspects of this film, by the way. It's great to see them bond and relate so well with each other. And their relationship is also very well written. Anyways, it's night time, which is time for the Chuckster to make his move, revealing himself way sooner than expected, actually. Now having Andy tied up planning to do more Dambala, hide the soul. Uh-oh, Andy, you're it as well.
It's called Hide the Soul. And guess what? You're it.
What a silly goose. Kyle arrives after sneaking out and sees Andy tied up, but for some reason believes that Andy did this to himself, which is just utter bullshit to believe, if I gotta be honest. Like, what's... Anyways, Homer and Marge walk in and assume for some odd reason that Kyle tied Andy up. What? Andy, please tell them the truth.
I don't believe you. You actually tied this child up so we wouldn't tell on you. Is that it?
Oh, come on,
Chucky did it.
That's enough
Chucky.
now.
Look at Kyle's face here. Chuck is thrown down the basement, where we see that he's already starting to become human again. We then see Andy and Kyle heading to school, with a new passenger joining them. Andy is in class, where we learn how much of a bitch his teacher is. Lucky we got Chuck here to tell her that. Of course, Andy gets blamed for this, and is locked in the classroom as punishment. Is this something that happens in America? I don't know. Chuck realizes it's his time to shine and proceeds to try and leave the closet he's been hiding in, but it's a bit difficult as it's been locked.
Let me the fuck out!
Andy escapes through the window, and the teacher arrives thinking the yapping and yelling from Chuck was indeed Andy. She proceeds to unlock the door and gets sent flying, as she has been blown like a balloon. With this iconic shot from this movie, he proceeds to beat the poor old lady to death with the ruler as the weapon. Andy gains a weapon that's 10 times as deadly than the mighty scalpel from before, and proceeds to stay in the basement waiting for Chuck's return. Homer hears this and heads for the basement and hunt for Andy. He sees Andy but doesn't see Chuck, who proceeds to hook Phil down the stairs with this one-liner.
How's it hanging, Phil?
Phil then drops, breaking his neck, killing him. Joanne then heads down. Seeing her dead husband on the floor, Marge now hates Andy, thinking he did this, which in turn leads Andy being taken back to the foster home. Poor kid, am I right? Andy warns Kyle about Chucky on his way out, which in turn leads Chuck to be thrown into the trash. On her way from the bin, she stops to be cool and have a smoke, but finds the very much dead Tommy and starts to realize some sus activities. I'm not funny. She returns to the bin and opens to find that Chuck is gone like my dad. Kyle then arms herself and proceeds to follow the sound of a sewing machine. What she finds is the dead body of Joanne, with tape wrapped across her face hole. Oh, and her throat is slit as well. Chuck arrives from the bed sheets and fights Kyle, who actually pulls up a good fight, but eventually loses to the killer doll. Chuck then forced Kyle to drive him to the foster building holding Andy, using a knife. But Kyle is actually smart and decides to use physics to knock Chucky out of the car.
Goddamn women drivers!
Kyle gets out and once again ends up with a knife to her throat. Chuck gets Kyle to head to the foster home, and they use a fire alarm to evacuate all the other people. Andy then arrives, and the caretaker at the home is indeed a bitch and blames Kyle for the fire alarm stunt. She takes the pair to her office, where the Chuckster makes her pay. Boom! Stab to the heart. Copies of the incident now printed. No need for crowd photos, please. Chuck separates Andy by hopping aboard a speeding truck of which Kyle follows in the car, leading to a chase. How in the actual hell are Chucky and Andy not being flown out of this speeding truck? Whatever, I guess. Kyle manages to stop the truck and proceeds to chase Andy and the doll to the actual best place for a finale in these movies, the Good Guy Doll Factory, where the best finale in the whole damn series takes place, indeed. In this maze of good guy dolls, Chucky knocks poor old Andy out with a really pathetic whack to the neck. He begins to do de Dembala, and it actually succeeds. That's right, he actually managed to do the full chant, and look, wait, why didn't it work? Huh? Excuse me? Did I miss something?
Too late! I've spent too much time in his body! I'm fucking trapped in here!
What didn't miss are these boxes that fall and hit the Chuckster, giving Andy a chance to run and regroup with Kyle, getting lost in this good guy maze. Eventually they wound up in some machinery where Chucky follows, but gets a cage slam to the hand. Lucky Chuck comes with removable limbs, of which he uses to the fullest, tearing apart his hand and replacing it with his latest invention, chalk hand knife thingy. Yet again, the two are lost and cannot find the exit, but their mishaps on the machines have caused a pile-up of dolls, alerting the goddamn one and only damn security guard who happens to be really shit at his goddamn job. What a loser, am I right? Don't worry, we won't have to put up with him for long as Chucky kills him in this absolutely brutal and bloody kill. Ugh. Chuck attacks the dynamic duo again, but is cut short by a sewing piece of a machine that transforms the little man into this. Want some hair with that? Wait, never mind, that's not him, as he has escaped before the machine could do anything to him. Chuck proceeds to knock out Kyle and reveal his latest decoration for Halloween, taking up some Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers tactics, hanging the dead worker's body up somehow within the short period of time. Listen, I don't know, okay, I'm just revealing this. But Chucky is now able-bodied and is missing a damn leg. He crawls his way after Andy, but gets stuck and dipped in molten plastic. But of course, the Chuckster never dies and rises again to have his, for now, final attack upon Kyle, who gets him back by making him pay for what he did to the teacher in the closet and inflates him until he pops like a balloon. But hey, at least we have his body right. Indy and Kyle proceed to walk out of the factory, clueless of where to head to next, and the movie then ends, thankfully not on a really unnecessary freeze frame. So that was Child's Play 2. Once again, what a movie, am I right? Like the first movie, this one is kind of also amazing. Don't worry, the quality dips in the next film. I actually do love this film though. It feels like a true sequel to its predecessor that is worth the time to watch. Despite a few logical issues and questions that are raised but end up unanswered, this movie is written amazingly, arguably better than the first film. Has great acting, especially from Alex Vincent, who shines once again as Andy Barclay, along with Christina Lees as Kyle, and of course Brad Dourif as Chucky.
I hate kids.
The animatronic work and camera quality are improved here, even though they were already amazing in the first film. Most characters are great, such as Kyle herself, but characters such as the teacher, caretaker, and at times even the Simpsons can come off as annoying and somewhat obnoxious. But overall, this movie is actually quality horror that, even though adding more humor than its first film, it still manages to balance everything together really well, still managing to be a great horror film. Because of all of its questions, I will once again give Child's Play 2 a great on the Met scale, and once again I would give it an 8 out of 10. Despite a few flaws, this movie is still top quality and amazing, and is also an overall great, scary, and fun watch. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe for us for more videos and reviews like this, and have a good day / night / evening wherever you are. Peace!
Don't fuck with the Chuck.
Oh my God.
Take me back to space.